What's up guys? Today we're going to do a quick comparison between the Dolby Vision version of Venom on Vudu, that's a lot of V's, and the IMAX Enhanced version on the Sony Privilege 4K app. For those that don't know, IMAX Enhanced titles will look cleaner since they go through IMAX's process of cleaning up the image through noise reduction techniques. Grain and noise will be minimized, so I guess the idea is since IMAX screens are so much bigger than a standard screen, you don't want to have a noisy, grainy image. They want you to have it as clean as possible. So let's take a look at a couple screenshots. The first one here is IMAX Enhanced. It looks good and it looks clean. Next one is Dolby Vision. This version looks a little brighter. Now let's put them side by side. The IMAX version does look a bit warmer than the Dolby Vision one. I know it's hard to tell from the video, but the cloud in this area here does have some slight graininess in the Dolby version. The IMAX version has smoother gradations with no visible grain, so it is cleaner. Although, whites are whiter and blues are bluer on the Dolby Vision version. Next we have a shot with some bright highlights. Shadow details look equal on both and highlight detail look great as well. Now side by side, we can see some slight variations in these two areas here. Again, the IMAX version is slightly darker and a little cleaner. The Dolby version is noticeably brighter but does appear to have a more grainier texture. Now just because it's grainier doesn't mean it doesn't have any detail. There does appear to be more detail with a little more color variances in the Dolby version. Now let's take a look at this area here. There isn't too much of a difference, but the Dolby version does have more specular detail. The cloud of smoke looks fuller in this version, where the IMAX version is smoother with a more subdued look. Obviously, if these weren't next to each other, you probably wouldn't notice a thing. Now in this shot, the IMAX version looks brighter than the Dolby version, so it has a bit more pop to the image. It's easier to see in this side by side. This guy's face has a bit more shadow detail where Dolby is darker. You can even see the people in this section better in the IMAX version. Now if you take a look at these lights, you can clearly see the texture of the glass lamps in the Dolby Vision version. The IMAX version is a bit blown out, but overall I'd have to give the win to IMAX here for having better shadow detail. And let's take a look at one last shot. Both look really good. Blurry background, razor sharp foreground. Putting them side by side, you can see the Dolby version is noticeably brighter compared to the dimmer IMAX version. Hardy's face looks relatively the same, but I'd give the edge to Dolby for looking a tad bit crisper. The background in Dolby Vision also has a bit more contrast and more visible grain. The IMAX one definitely is softer with a creamier looking bokeh effect that makes Hardy stand apart from the background more. So Dolby has the more vivid HDR effect, whereas the IMAX Enhanced version is cleaner with a more three-dimensional effect, although with less background detail. So the takeaways that I could personally see is, yes, the IMAX Enhanced version does have a smoother, cleaner appearance overall in most of these screenshots and in normal viewing. It's also just a little dimmer, but whatever IMAX is doing to clean the image up does lead to some of those finer details being lost. I know a lot of folks hate seeing grain or noise when watching a movie, so I can see the attraction to an IMAX Enhanced version. Now I'm sure you noticed that the movie still had those black bars, so just because it says IMAX Enhanced doesn't mean it's going to be full screen. And just for clarification, this was done using the Sony 65-inch A9G with the same camera settings used for all screenshots. I also didn't alter the image in post. Now since the TV is mounted in another room, I wasn't able to test out the IMAX Enhanced audio. If they ever release an actual movie on disc, I'll be sure to test it out then. Now what are your thoughts on IMAX Enhanced movies? Did you prefer the IMAX version or the Dolby Vision one? Let us know in the comments below. Well, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like button if you found the video useful, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button for new weekly videos.